And I want you to feel like you can live for yourself. Have the courage and strength to do that. No matter how hard it is, no matter how many times people tell you cannot do something, prove them wrong and prove yourself right. That you are capable of doing something better for your own life, because we only have one life to live it. And all these labels is just adding more limitations onto us. Welcome to the Essence of True Self podcast, where we talk about elevating and growing into our true self, magically, spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally. We no longer hold back who we truly are to become who we meant to be. I am your host, Oriana, and I love learning about expanding my mind, wisdom, understanding, and life in magical, spiritual, physical, and emotional and mental ways. And I just want to bring forth the clarity and wisdom that I have learned on my journey so you can apply to yours. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but continue to expand who you meant to be in this lifetime. Welcome. Hey, welcome back to the Essence of True Self podcast, and I'm your host, Oriana, and I hope your week, your day, your evening is going pretty well. If not, of course, I'm sending you love and light in this time, and you got this, and you can get through this. And before we get into this episode, we're going to do some breathing to really center ourselves and be open and receptive to the message I have for you guys today. So let's get into it. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. I hope that grounds you, centered you, and bring you back into the present moment and being open and receptive to the message I have for you today. And as you can tell by this episode, this is for Black women and Black women only. Dear Black women. And before I start this episode, this is a disclaimer. This is a call to action. This is a moment for a Black woman to really evolve into her own being. And first, I was kind of hesitant to really do this episode because a lot of this is going to be about my own personal story and how I navigate as a Black woman in today's society, in America's society. If you know, you know. And I was kind of hesitant, but I feel like Spirit want me to talk about us as Black women, that we are powerful, we are wonderful, we are love, we are creative being in a reflection of nature itself. God, universe, source have put us here to really resonate with earth itself. We name everything that's women like around us, and that kind of morphs us into who we are as a person, as a being, as a woman, because our womb is the portal of all life, and we really birth things out of it. But Black women, dear Black women, you deserve joy. You deserve happiness. You deserve peace, joy, fulfillment, ease. You are deserving. You deserve creativity. You deserve abundance, prosperity, success, protection, calmness, ease, safety, security, balance, and groundedness, energy, a fulfilling overall life. And I speak this very heartily from my heart, because I feel like me as a Black woman, most of my life I haven't really been in my own power as a Black woman or a Black girl in America. And being a Black woman in America is not for the weak. It's really eye-opening to me as a dark-skinned Black woman, as people diminished me since I was a kid and don't even know me just by the color of my skin, by the way I carry myself, and even being bullied by my own people, by being a darker version of everyone. And we are all different shades of black. And I used to not be happy to be black because I was bullied my whole entire life, inside my own home and outside my home. And me seeing that, growing up and learning about history and how much white people hated black people, especially the dark black people. But we ain't gonna get into that, not just yet. But it's just black people in general, black women. And black women is always at the bottom of the pool, but we always at the top of really leading anything in revolution, if you will, to really guide us to living in a better society for us as a divine being we are, black women. And as I was saying, I just never really felt safe in my own skin. I never really liked to express myself as a black woman. I would get offended when people call me black, or you this, or you that, or you're darky, you this and that. And they would really do something to my spirit, because it just diminished me as a person and not feel good enough in my own skin and not feel happy to even be alive, honestly, to view myself as something so sacred and so goddess like, because everything around me told me I was not good enough just because how I looked. And I ran with that. I try to fit every mold besides being a black, dark-skinned woman. And let's say they really devalue who I was, stripped every layer of myself just to fit a mold that society do not want me to be. Like, society say they want you to be a certain way, but once you're that way, it just doesn't work. It never worked it for me. And constantly playing the game of life of America, the great American game, never fit well with me. Never sat well with me. Once my frontal lobe have developed, it have shifted everything for me to reprogram my mind to see how beautiful and sacred black was. The melanated skin that radiates and glows every time the sun hits it, and seeing the beauty within myself in that layer. And as you, black woman, I want you to love your skin as well. Have the strength and power and resilience to do so, no matter what anybody tell you. No matter if people continue to tell you you look like this person, or you look good for a black girl, or dark-skinned black girl at that. You look good just to be looking good. You don't need to be looking good because you're a black woman. You know how many times I got that backhanded compliment? You pretty for a black girl. You this for a black girl. But I will always feel like I have to meet all these molds of myself and being treated like garbage, because my whole life I feel like I've been treated like garbage, and I did. And I have. And I had. Like, it was a deep healing process for me to really see who I was and who I was being in every area of my life as a black woman. Realizing how much it had took a toll on me and how much it deterred me from my true nature, my true purpose, my true divine within me. I was like, after I got to a point, I was like, I'm doing all this shit for nothing, honestly. People gonna hate me regardless. People gonna dislike the things I do regardless. I might as well just be myself. I just might as well. And it took a lot of hard work, a lot of crying, healing, scripting myself from all society, quote unquote, norms of how black women should act, what we should do with our body. We have to work 10 times hard than everybody just to prove that we are worthy. And we don't need to work hard. We don't need to struggle to the top just to prove our value into the society who literally do not give a shit about us. And I want you, black woman, to really come in that realization, you don't need to please anybody but yourself. Nobody but yourself. And I watched a video today by Viola Davis. If I'm saying her name wrong, I'm just gonna put it on the screen. But she said the only person I need to be pleasing is my 6-year-old me and my 80-year-old me. And that quote really just resonated with me very deeply, because both of those states are where we're the most vulnerable. The in-between state is us actually having the capability to build the life that we want. No matter how many times the world or people around us try to put labels on us to limit our light, to dim our light. Why do you think they work so hard to dim our light? Because we are actually divine, powerful beings. It's easy to diminish the powerful because they don't want you to see your own light. And it took me so long to get there, to realize the light and the power always stands within me. True respect, true value come from your own power, your own trust, and your own respect of yourself, and how much you really show up for yourself, and how much you value yourself, But I have some notes. We're going to go into some notes. I know I'm all over the place. I've been kind of nervous to do this video, but we're going to get into it. But yeah, what made me do this video is really being raw and honest with my audience that do follow me from all walks of life, and really just share my story of like me and my experience as a Black woman in a society that how much I feel so unwanted and unvalued, and people continue to treat me like I'm the scum of the earth throughout my whole life, until I stood up in my own power to tell people how to treat me, or just present that within myself and allow that to radiate from me. How many times people think they can get away because they think you just the bottom of the barrel because you have been told that your whole life and you just went along with it because you thought it was normal, and it's not. It was never normal. If you've been treated so badly, until someone treats you right, you just like, I don't know how to receive this. And that's how I felt when I first started my programming, or reprogramming myself to really love myself. And it took some deep reflection, deconstruction, decolonizing my mind, my spirit, from what I was told was right, what I was told was wrong, what I was told that we should do that, I should do this and that. And people wanted me to live for them so bad, but I'm not living for them. I was always meant to live for myself. And I want you to feel like you can live for yourself. Have the courage and strength to do that. No matter how hard it is, no matter how many times people tell you cannot do something, prove them wrong and prove yourself right, that you are capable of doing something better for your own life, because we only have one life to live it. And all these labels is just adding more limitations onto us, because that's what society told us that is normal. But we got to remember, what people made normal was once crazy and outlandish. And all these ideas came from a collective that thought we should live this way. But as a divine being we're supposed to always go against what society tell us and go with our own intuition and instinct tell us to do. Follow our inner knowing, So that would really help me, really made me do this video and really shift my perspective to something healing for me, to tell my story, and hopefully it meets and be in front of the right people to heal them and give them clarity and wisdom of where this message might land for them. So yeah, that's what made me do this video. So Black women, We need to start speaking highly of ourselves and our achievements and where we want to be in life. And that's not me telling you to tell everybody your business. This is really for you and your time to really dive deep within yourself. As I was saying earlier, as everyone around me was telling me I was not the best. I was belittled and bullied and literally the scum of the earth for most people. But speaking life over your own self, having your own validation over anybody else is your superpower. Because once you know and value and trust and love yourself and speak these wonderful words of yourself, seeing your life change around you, what other people say will never stick because it will fall off because that's not who you are. Well, a lot of things stick because we been living for others. We settle and belittle our own self just to meet where other people is at. And when we settle, we just meet people where they're at, but people need to meet us where we at the same time. I'm never saying match energy, just be yourself in your authenticity. By speaking your life over yourself, by doing your mirror work, praying, take care of yourself. Your body is an altar. You are the altar of your own life. You are the caretaker of your own life. You are the divine drive of your own life. And speaking life over yourself will lead to action to lead you to live a better life. But you have to believe that you are capable of shifting and changing that. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It was never easy in the beginning for me. Like I always say, it's always going to be kind of hard before it becomes easy. When you create a new habit for yourself, especially speaking life over yourself, when everything around you tell you you're not that, you have to be the ultimate power and the resilient power to continue to pour into yourself, being the endless well that you seek from others within yourself. And this took so much time for me to understand that. When me going out to different guys, and I had me a little roster and I had all these guys, but none of them really give a shit about me. And honestly, I didn't give a shit about me either. So it made it easier for them to devalue me. And it made it easier for me to continue to devalue my own self. And not being more selective and caring with my own energy and my time. My time is the ultimate power. My attention is the ultimate power. Where your intention goes, energy grows. When you give your intentions or your attention to, it will always grow into something more, whether we like it or not. So always be mindful of where you give your attention to. And I wasn't being mindful. I was being careless with my own energy, my mind, my body, my spirit. Because people was always mindless with me. Didn't really care about me. Especially starting at a young age. You still learning about life. And you realize what people did to you was never right. Was never right. Because they didn't love themselves. They didn't give a shit about themselves, so they made you feel even worse because they can see my light, which I could not see. Because I did not know myself. And when I started doing things for myself and growing up, you get belittled for trying to do things for yourself because it seems selfish. And when you constantly leave yourself behind, it's selfless. But when I'm going to actually have time for myself, that's what I ask myself. When would I actually have time to be me? To really pour into me? And I really had to fight the shame and the guilt of pouring into myself for so long. Because the selfishness was hunting me. The word selfishness was hunting me. Of like, oh my God, I can't believe once I choose myself, all these things are melting away from me. Because they never was for me from the beginning. ever. And I'm trying to make it stick, and I'm trying to force things when I know I'm shifting, when I know I'm changing. And it caused me more pain, more hurt, more trauma from my own self. And not knowing better because I never seen better. But it does not make an excuse for me to continue to live a life that belittle me and not make me feel good about life. And what really shifted for me is when I was talking to this guy and he gave me an STD. And that crumbled everything for me. I was really being naive in my own life to listen to what other people say and their words, because I was always a person who say, when I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Even though I did not feel the best of myself, I was going to make things happen in my life. And I had that drive and I had that willpower. But most of my willpower was going to the wrong thing in the wrong places. I was easily distracted by people that feeds me lies and stories to feel their own narrative to get what they want out of me. And I feel like a lot of us have been there. And luckily it wasn't like something dire. And I got some medicine for it, and I really did some deep reflecting. And even when I did deep reflecting, I still fell into old patterns and still to talk to different guys. But I did block that other guy though. I blocked the shit out of him. I'm a blocker, so I blocked the shit out of him. But I would still talk to other guys and stuff like that. But I was emotional disconnected from everything for a long time. My heart felt like it was on ice. Because I was like, I don't want to put myself through that. So I'm just going to be pimping. I'm going to be pimping these niggas out. I'm laughing about it now because it's my story. And it is what it is. Like, I was going to be pimping these niggas out. And I did. And I was still not happy. And I just said, you know what? Fuck all the noise. Fuck all what other people is telling me. Fuck all of that. I want to hear my own voice. And the withdrawal from all the chaos and the toxicity and the trauma was really hard. Like, being in that space for most of my life, all of my life really, before I just made the shift to be a better person, have really been very hard to let go of. But I knew it would be more beneficial. Even when I fall back in old patterns, I would still push forward to make a change. And it might not be, going with the guys, or it might be drinking or smoking too much, or, partying too much, just to get myself away from my inner noise. And that wasn't working either. And once I finally surrendered to my own self, that's when things started changing for me. And that's why I started speaking life over myself and journaling, and knowing within different situations that I always told myself I deserve better. But I was afraid to be alone because I had really, really bad abandonment issues. And it's kind of weird. I have abandonment issues, but I had an anxious, avoidant attachment style. So it depends on like the circumstance. Because in the household I grew up in, it was always something. So you never know what's the right thing to say, what not to say. So you won't, get popped in the mouth. So yeah, it was something that I needed to shift within myself and fight for my own self. But after a while, you don't have to fight. You just surrender for myself. And that's what I did. And even through all the abuse, mentally, emotionally, physically, sexual and otherwise, I decide enough is enough. I'm tired of being the victim of my old story, my own timeline. I'm not on this earth for nothing. I'm on this earth for something, a purpose of living a fulfilling happiness peaceful life. So I really made the shift to really go all in for myself and block out the noise of others and really hone it in. And for the first 6 months to a year, I did a lot of purging, a lot of crying, a lot of writing, a lot of rage, just outbursts, a lot of everything. And when I started making that shift and telling people to stop calling me certain things, standing up for myself, because it was easy for me to stand up for others, but not for myself. And that really ripped open my authenticity, my open heart again, to know love from a healthy standpoint and continue to learn that. So yeah, speak life over yourself. Speak love over yourself, especially when no one else will. No longer be the victim of your own story. Be the hero. Speak loving energy of your life when others have not shown you that. When people continue to betray you and use you as a doll rag because we don't know how to love ourselves. But this is a call to action to start loving yourself, to be there for yourself. So yeah, the next part was don't be afraid to be yourself. And that was so hard for me, especially playing a role of somebody else's life, multiple other people's lives meshed in one. It was very hard for me to not be afraid to be myself and go out and just show the world who I was. I didn't know who I was. I did not know who I was. I always asked myself, who am I? Who am I? Because I didn't know. I was doing my life for other people. I went to school in accounting for other people and from my own trauma from not wanting to be poor. And I'm not saying I regret that, but what if I follow my creative pursuits? Because I used to love singing. I mean, I still love singing now, but like, then I was like, is that really going to make me money? I cannot live another poor lifestyle. I cannot. And that's what my mindset was at the time. Making my life decisions for others. But really, people and the adults in my life at that time was like, you don't need to be like me. Learn from my mistakes. And as I was trying to learn from their mistakes, as they continue to belittle me and abuse me at the same time, it was like a wishy-washy, anxious and avoidant energy all within me. And not knowing who I was a battle to tackle. But it's also a wonderful thing to peel back the layers to know myself. It's a beautiful thing to have the courage and strength to love myself again. And you can do the same. No matter how bad it gets, how other people treat us. But we are resilient beings. We are elevating beings. Whether people know it or not, or whether you know it right now. But in those moments you don't know who you are and you've been living for others, it's time to go ahead and break out all the stuff that you want to do. Bring it all out. All the creative things, all the child things you always want to do, and just do it. Take different classes. Start drawing, start writing, start singing, start being more creative again, expressing yourself in many ways. You be like, I don't know where this is going to take me, but I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to try this new recipe. I'm just going to try different stuff to see what this new version of myself going to birth out. Because we go through the death and rebirth process, and it's not easy. It's very painful. It's very uncomfortable transition, because you are breaking away and tearing away your old self, your old version of yourself, to be who you are, to become who you are, who you meant to be. But through that, you have to learn all these different things that you neglected because of other people and you thought you wasn't good enough for. But let me tell you, your very existence is good enough. Your worth right now, your very existence right now is calling you, telling you that you are worthy just by being here. Because we wouldn't be here if we wasn't worthy just to be living in the authenticity that we are. It's easy to limit ourselves for others who do not care about themselves, who do not see the value within themselves. But once you have value, respect, honor, and understanding within yourself, what other people used to do to you won't even affect you. And you laugh at those moments, and you get grossed out at the moments when you realize the shit that you have accepted for so long. And we realize that is not my truth. That is not who I am. That is not the lifestyle that I want. Now, who are you now? What can you do to really tap into that energy of authenticity? And I always tell people to go back to your childhood, to those carefree moments when you start doing anything out of boredom. Allow yourself to be bored with yourself to find out what really sparked your interest. I always say journaling and meditating will give you more clear answers of what is for you and what you can do to tap into more of that energy. If you was an artist, or if you was like an artist, a drawer, painter, get back into that. Allow that to express yourself in a way through your healing journey, through your death and rebirth journey, but also through your happiness and fulfilling moments of becoming a version of yourself you do not know yet, but you're ready to get to learn. And it's a beautiful sight to see. I continue to surprise myself and be proud of myself through those processes. As I was discovering myself, I took myself on solo days, bought myself flowers, really took myself to different places. I went to Puerto Rico by myself. I went to Chicago by myself, literally spending time with myself and getting to know myself without the noise. And when you out in public and you just realize how you act on a normal basis, you realize, oh, I do that because of this. Oh, I do that because of this. Now, how can I change this habit for something better? For something that's more fulfilling. That's going to fulfill me in the long term. Because a lot of times we do things short term for temporary fix, but it never sticks. Temporary fix, but it never sticks. Longevity is the key to your own evolution and your growth. And I'm continuous to learn this as I still want my mundane luxury things, but also I got to think about my long-term things. Your 6-year-old self and your 8-year-old self. What would benefit my 80-year-old self in the future? Eating healthy, working out, learning new things, expanding my mind, being creative, expressing myself to my full authenticity will really show my 80-year-old self that I can love again. I can draw again. I can grow again. Over and over. I can start over and begin again. Because I haven't gave up on myself. A lot of times we become bitter. We become angry. We become sad and victim of my own story because we give up on ourselves. We don't even give ourselves a chance to really show up. And we're easily to give up because nobody really showed up the way we want them to. But how can anybody really show up firmly in longevity in your life when you don't even do that for yourself? And I had to ask myself that question too. So ask yourself that question and see what comes up for you. Let's go to the next bullet point. Yeah. Don't minimize your experience. Speak your truth. And this part right here, I used to minimize my own experience to meet other people's needs. Oh, you didn't mean it like that. Oh, you didn't do it like that. Oh, no. That meant exactly who they was, who they say they was. And when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't give them chances after chances, giving them the benefit of the doubt because of what? Because of what? Because we used to feel like, oh, we should have the benefit of the doubt when people didn't give it to us, and we describe because we gave them so many chances. Because they knew how much they can get out of you, but you didn't know how much they was getting from you. So, Don't minimize your own experiences. Like, when people used to do fucked up shit to me, I would give them the benefit of the doubt and brush it off and be like, you know what? Because I was so used to fucked up shit been happening to me. So I would brush it off because I wanted that need of connection, deep abandonment issues. And me being essayed at a young age really shift the perspective of me needing people there constantly, not valuing my body in a way that really more whole and sacred to me. I was loosey-goosey with my own body, and being essayed at a very young age as a child in elementary school by multiple people, it really shifts my perspective of like, oh, I can be light because I have this precious womb in between my legs and I can use it for my benefit. And once I realized it really wasn't a benefit because I was diminishing my own self and minimizing my own experience because I wanted to be liked by other people. Or not speaking the truth because it might make other people look bad. Or I'm like, oh, I'm protecting myself when I'm really protecting my abuser. Don't protect your abuser. They knew what they was doing when they did it. And when they say sorry and continue to do the same thing over and over, this shows you who they really are. Because I continue to let it happen. I continue to let it happen. And even as a kid, I didn't know better. Now as an adult, the raising kid in me is so mad. Because a lot of people in my life don't know that I got SA. I don't talk about it. I don't speak about it. Because I don't want the pity party. I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me. I was even embarrassed to even say it on camera right now. But I know a lot of us women, black women, has been SA'd and been denied our own experience and minimized our own experiences. Especially not only being abused in that way, but like abused in so many different ways. So there's no reason to really speak about it. But no, speak your truth. Yes, I was SA'd as a child by multiple people. And I didn't know how to cope with that, but to really just advertise my body because that's what I knew to do, to get my way. But little did I know it did not get my way. I was easily used and dumped for the next. People used to tell me I was easy and I thought it was a compliment. It was never a compliment. It was just showing me how much I devalue and did not care about myself. Well, now, I care way too much about myself. I'm just kidding. I care a lot about myself. I care about my body so much. I don't minimize my experiences anymore. I don't limit my own experiences because my truth is the only thing that will really set me free. And this right here is setting me free. And don't let your abusers get away with how they treated you. Speak your truth and block their ass. Because they don't deserve to be around you. As you continue to work hard to love yourself again. When people try to make you feel bad for loving yourself because they was benefiting from the littlest version of yourself when you're not feeling best about yourself, that's when you have to step back and see people's true colors for who they are. So don't minimize your experience. Your experience is the most valuable thing you have in your life. The moments that you have learned and grown and evolved from. And when something like that come up again in your life, you know how to catch it and avoid it. Block it. Set boundaries. Put distance between it. Because when you can sniff an abuser from a mile away or past experiences when you already evolved from a mile away, it becomes easy to put your foot down and say, fuck you and fuck what you're talking about. Now I can move with care and love for my own damn self, not from you. So yeah, don't minimize your experience. Express that in the way that you feel that it needs to be expressed, not by other people's expectations from your expression. So yeah, let's go to the next bullet point. This podcast is gonna be pretty long. Being more selective with your mind, your body, and your spirit. That kind of feeds in the bullet point I just did. Being more selective with your time, your mind, and your body and your spirit. When you're more centered and grounded in yourself, and I feel like the only way you can really be centered and grounded within yourself is being selective with your time, what you're absorbing, what you're consuming, who you giving your body to. And then I really have to ask people, like, the person you giving your body to, would you really want to trade life with them? Will you really want to trade life with them? Like, really ask that. Do you see that person benefiting your life in the long run? The same go with content. Is they even spiritually aware to be in the same facility with you? Can they even have emotional, intelligent conversations with you without calling you sensitive or avoidant of what questions you ask them? Because I used to think, I'm too much, I'm too this, I'm too that. And I'm a very assertive person. And I speak my mind. And a lot of people don't like that. And that's not my issue. Because they're not being honest and truthful with themselves. Being selective with your time and your attention. Remember I said attention is your greatest asset and your value. Will really make you feel honed in on yourself. And know your value and your worth. Selectivity is the key to getting what you really want and meeting more like-minded individuals like you. When you just let anybody in, that's when things get all messed up and mushy. So be more selective. Don't allow people in your space that don't even meet the ideal version of yourself that you want to be. You know what I'm saying? That you cannot really learn from and grow with. I feel like relationships and friendships should be an ever-growing relationship. When you feel stagnant and doing the same thing over and over again, not being self-expressive and not being your full self with this person. Of course, you got to be, selective with how you express yourself to certain people. But the people you really want close in your long-term relationship, you have to be yourself in order to know who is for you and who is not. And rejection is protection. It's leading you to two places you need to be. Oh, this opportunity is not meant for me? Okay, something better is coming. It's a mindset shift for something better. Being selective. Because we're not just out here picking up everything we see and hoping for the best. No. Being more selective by doing that is getting to know, what you like and what you don't like, and who you are. That's why I say you learn these different things and grow with these different things with your creative expression and learning about yourself. But don't abandon yourself for others. Because when your cup is dry, no water is in it, how can you really feel fulfilled? How can you really slow down and take in every moment if you're not really pouring into yourself? You're supposed to be the everlasting well that you seek within you, so you can grow and evolve. You is like a delicate plant that needs to be constantly watered. Like, you are that. And people who's not being very receptive to you with that, that's when you need to be like, reevaluate. Do I really want to be friends with this person? What are we doing to really evolve in our own friendship and within our own lives? Or are we always complaining and gossip about other people's lives because we're not doing something with our own life? Being selective with people who will help you grow and feel like your ideas is not small. Because our dreams and our desires are there for us to achieve them and go after them, to feel fulfillment and joy within us. But as we learn it and grow within that journey, because it's not a race, it's not a destination really. It's a version of us that continue to evolve and enjoy the journey. Looking at the trees on the trails and looking at the butterflies and the flowers that's growing and taking in every moment and every lesson and every challenge you go through. And don't allow that to stop you, because you continue to grow within this journey. Journeys lies where your deepest wisdom is, your deepest knowledge, your deepest growth is. So be more selective and see how things really shift for yourself. It might be lonely at first. You might be by yourself and you're having withdrawals like me. But after a while, you become comfortable in your own energy, in your own space. And you really will hear your intuition loud and clear. You will hear God loud and clear. Because you are still enough and aware enough within your own energy to hear, to know what's for you and what's not for you. Okay, the next bullet point is decolonizing your mindset in your everyday life. We can't deny we live in a white patriarchal society, a colonized society. Especially if you're black, you know this. You should know this at least. And as a black woman, it does not appeal to the black woman. It doesn't resonate with the black woman. It doesn't benefit the black woman. We have to pave a way out of no way. And decolonize our mind is really a deep-rooted generational curse that we need to break. And realizing how much we would say, oh, this is ghetto, this is that, this is that. But where did this standard come from? A white man. A white man. A white man. Like, it's time to decolonize our minds and really get to know our roots and where we come from. And not demonize everything that we do not understand. The open-mindedness will lead you so far. Closed-mindedness will not lead you far. It will keep you narrow-minded in the same spot over and over and over again. And you wondering why you're not growing, because you are not expanding your mind. Reading different topics, learn about different people experience, different spiritual practices, different religions. Because really, within all this, we are all humans. Without all the labels, we just human. Decolonize our mind from what we seem is right and wrong. I had to decolonize my own mind. When I used to think white was right, baby, I learned that the hard way, and it's not. And remember in the beginning of this episode, I said how much I did not like my own skin. That's how bad the colonization and the white patriarchy was in my mind. And I had to really script away to learn back the roots of my own ancestry and my own power and the resilience that my ancestors have. When people say history does not matter, it definitely matters, because it repeats itself. That's how we learn from the mistakes of the past, so we can be able to grow in the future. That's why reading is important. That's why learning about different things is important. But I'm not saying we always need to know everything. Leave room for the mystery and the unknown. Allow it to unfold for you. Some things we not meant to know. But don't push away the idea that you don't understand by demonizing it and saying it's the devil because you don't understand it. True evolution lies in your open-mindedness, in your growth, in the love that you seek within yourself. And that's help you actually explore the different shapes and sizes within you. Then decolonization starts within the mind. Before the white man got off that boat and over here slaughter a lot of people to take the land, to colonize it, to meet their standards. Really just learn about your history and learn about different African villages and tribes and history and practices, and see how much your brain have changed. Because Western knowledge is not the only knowledge that's out there. That's why we have internet. And that's why we have all these unlimited access to internet and information. Decolonizing your mind will set you free from a lot of things. A lot of things that we don't realize it. By calling certain things ghetto or straightening our hair just to appease to certain people. I'm just going to leave that there because I could go very much into this. And if y'all want more detail about that, leave a comment below or, ask me some questions about that and I might put it in the next video. That's why I'm going to leave that at. And lastly, make time for yourself, Black woman. You're not everybody, go to. You don't have to always answer the phone when you don't need to. Them people can wait, okay? Make time for yourself. Relearning yourself is really making time and saying no. Setting boundaries is the highest form of self-love. It really is. Because it gives you enough time to recharge your own energy to be able to be back in the world and pour into others and pour back into you. But when I say pour into others, the person has to be reciprocal as y'all pour into each other. Not just one-sided love. Make time for yourself. Love on yourself. Pour into yourself. And it could be the smallest thing in finding the smallest joy in life. Make that time for yourself. And allow other people to work around that time. And if you do have children, work the best way you can do. Because I don't have children, I can't really speak on that. But really, find time for yourself in the smallest ways. And you say you don't have time. Yes, you can. You can make time for this job. You can make time to watch TV and scroll on social media as you watch me right now. Make time. Turn off the TV. Find something you want to do. Oh, you want to go to this restaurant? You've been saying you want to go to the restaurant, but nobody going with you? Go by yourself. Oh, you been want to go watch that movie? Go to the movies. Literally, the only way you can really grow is stepping out of your comfort zone. That expands the comfort zone bubble. And you continue to face your fears. That's when you see real change and evolution in your life. Make time. Because time, that's all you have. Because attention in your time is the most valuable thing you have. Trust me, I know. I used to abandon myself and make time for everybody else and fit them in my schedule. Now I'm exhausted from doing that. I'm exhausted. When I'm like, I've been out 2 times, I'm like, okay, now, let me pull it back into me. Okay, because I'm very sensitive to energy, and a lot of us is very sensitive to energy. So don't allow yourself to lose yourself into the world around you. Make that time and watch how things change for you. Make that time for yourself. Loving yourself just a little bit more every day. And it don't have to be 100% every day. It can be 80, it can be 8, it can be 10, it can be 15, as much as you can, to show how proud and capable you are of yourself. Because Black woman, you deserve love. You deserve ease. You deserve peace. You deserve time for yourself, to nurture yourself, showing yourself grace and compassion. You don't have to push yourself hard to prove a point for others, because you already enough as it is. Even society tells us that we're not enough. Prove them wrong. Show them how capable you truly are by showing up for yourself. By actually going after the things you said you're going to do. Highest form of self-love. Showing up for yourself. Loving on yourself deeply and wholeheartedly. And see where that takes you. Well, I hope this episode help you. And beautiful Black woman, I just want you to know you're beautiful, you're seen, you are heard, you are loved. You are capable of living your wildest dreams, so go after it. And don't wait for other people to tell you otherwise. This is a little bit of a longer episode. I was not expecting it to be this long. But I feel like I just had to speak, and I hope my story helps somebody. And I hope these bullet points help Black women to really step into their power and really just love themselves deeply and completely. Because when nobody else does, you do. Because one thing the world hates is a strong, I don't like using strong, a very confident, sure of themselves woman. Because it's not easy to control us. It's not easy. When you're sure of yourself, a lot of people have hell to pay. So, yeah. Well, I love you, family. I hope this helped you. Let me know if this helped you by giving a like, comment, and subscribing. If you're watching on video form, if you listen to a podcast form, rate, comment, and follow the podcast and share with other people who might need to hear this. I really hope this helped you. And until next time, family.